So I will defer to a Black Hawk helicopter pilot as to what kind of equipment that aircraft had.
And Alan Armstrong, thank you very much. We will do exactly as you just suggested. Thank you for joining us, Anderson.
Abby, thanks very much. Joining me now is Congressman Gabe Evans. He's a former commander in the Army and a pilot who flew Black Hawk helicopters. Congressman, I appreciate you being with us, and I am sorry it's under these circumstances. What's your thought on what these Black Hawk helicopter pilots were seeing, what may have gone wrong? What do you think?
Yeah, so as we've heard, this is a nighttime flight. It sounds like the Black Hawk helicopter aircrew was equipped with night vision goggles. The limitation for night vision goggles is while they're very, very good at amplifying the light, they give you an incredibly small field of view. Your normal field of view top to bottom is about 130 degrees. Your field of view left to right, including your peripheral vision, is about 200 degrees. When you're looking through the standard issue night vision goggles that most helicopter aircrews are issued, that's a 40-degree field of view. And you also lose a lot of depth perception when you're looking through them. So in a very busy area, and that's something that I'm familiar with operating in. I flew in and around the Denver airspace, which is one of the top 5 busiest airports in the country. When there's a lot of lights and a lot of motion going on, it's entirely possible that these pilots could have received an advisory from air traffic control, be aware of company traffic, and identified the wrong aircraft.
Well, let me ask you about the night vision, because I know usually it's able to be flicked up or down depending on what the pilot or the operator wants. But obviously, night vision works in total darkness. But if there's a lot of city lights, as there are, I mean, there's a lot of lights around there in Georgetown and elsewhere, that also can interfere with night vision, can it?
It can, and so as we said, the night vision goggles amplify the light, but how much they amplify the light depends on where you're looking and how much ambient lighting is around. And so I know from flying, around the Denver metro area, that if you're looking toward bright lights, they're going to dim down a little bit so that they don't wash out. And then if you just turn your head and look toward a darker area, it may take just a quick fraction of a second for the goggles to see that, react to that, and then turn up the intensity of the amplification of those night vision goggles. And again, the field of view is 40 degrees, so you have to consciously focus on scanning, on moving your head to maintain that awareness of the airspace around you.
And Blackhawks, don't they have, I'm not sure if it's called transponders, don't they have equipment that gives warning about other aircraft? And I think it can be turned on or off, or on some missions it might not be on, but is that potentially something that might not have been on?
So we just heard the airline pilot talk about the system called TCAS, Terminal Collision Avoidance System. TCAS is a piece of equipment that's mounted on typically your airliners, and yes, it can interact with the transponders that are on Black Hawk helicopters. But as we just heard, that system is disabled once you get below certain altitudes for the airliners. And so it's entirely possible that all of the equipment was functioning normally, but because of the low altitudes here, even though those systems were interacting with each other, they might not have given an advisory to the airline pilots of a potential collision. But yes, Blackhawks do have a transponder, and typically is equipped with Mode C, so that's that altitude readout.
We heard air traffic controller talking to the helicopter pilot. Are military aircraft exempt from FAA or air traffic control rules, or how does that work?
No, so when you're a military aircraft and you're operating in the national airspace, you have to comply with national airspace standards. And so you're going to be on a frequency, particularly in Class B airspace, like is around Reagan National Airport. You're going to be talking to air traffic control. They're going to be talking back to you. You're not actually allowed to even enter the airspace until you have that positive communication with air traffic control.
Congressman Gabe Evans, I appreciate your time. Thank you very much. Abby?
Thank you, Anderson. Next, recovery efforts are over for the night, with officials saying the shallow river water is making everything